This is TWiT.
You know, we're going to talk about today, I feel, is this new collector's item that I paid $0 for.
Let me tell you guys something. I think 1,000 people reached out to tell me, and with great alacrity.
Yeah.
You have to tell Leo immediately.
Me too.
Yeah. Like, I think he heard it. I think he knows.
I found out.
You've confirmed you did not pay for it? Because I haven't gotten a check. I know mine has arrived.
I never got, they never billed me for it.
Interesting. Okay.
Great.
So I don't, I mean, that's right. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
But,
I'd be fine paying for it.
Yeah.
They delivered it to you.
We did get, I'm sad to say, one email that let me see if I can find it. It basically said, that was the worst show I've ever listened to.
Last week,
Last week. Yeah. Never have
Paul I can feel
walk Leo through anything ever again. Basically.
Wow, I like that I was the problem.
No, I don't. Well, that's why I'm trying to find the email. I want to get you the exact wording.
I did mention this a couple of times. This will be the worst listening experience ever.
Yeah, no, you were. And this is from, it comes from Greg Priestley, and he's an Australian. So I'm going to do this in his language.
Nice.
Just to let you know, this week was the worst, most boring Windows Weekly ever.
Right.
Who thinks an audio podcast of trying to get Leo to click the right buttons is riveting entertainment, mate?
Nobody thought that. See, I take great exception to this.
Yes.
You warned us.
Here's the problem.
It's going to be bad.
If we delivered an entertaining and educational episode, were you going to get an email from this guy? Because if not, I don't know what to tell you.
It's fine. I think it was of interest to some. But
you do?
Okay. I think also of interest to some is the fact that for some reason, Qualcomm has said, yeah, this didn't work. We're not going to send any more out.
Yeah.
Right.
And for it said there were 200 of us who got them. Richard, congratulations.
Wow. So we're only in the 200. That's pretty cool.
Well, I think that might have been speculation by a tech blog. I can't remember, but we're not going to get billed apparently, and they don't want it back apparently.
Yeah. So I wonder if they're going to fail. Is the real issue here? Is that they don't want to warn.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. What's wrong with this,
guys? We gotta cut to the more important topic, which is maybe Leo. We could walk him through resetting the PC today.
Oh boy.
I don't know.
I'm still keen to put Linux on this thing. You know, not that I've laid hands on it yet, but we'll see what happens.
No.
Anyway, I love a good orphan. That's exciting to me.
So we had a call with Qualcomm on Monday, unrelated to this, and of course somebody asked, right? And it was just a slightly more nuanced version of the public statement, which I honestly think is correct. I think they, for better or worse, went with this company. I think this company did not show up with the quality they were expecting.
Arrow, right?
Yeah.
Or was Arrow just the shipper?
I don't know. But it's not, people are saying like Qualcomm can't, Qualcomm did this, Qualcomm hired a third party. The quality of the device
make a mini PC that should have been in our hands by June.
Yep. I think there were a lot of mistakes that the details in some ways aren't important. It's just that, it just wasn't right. And now, and Richard and I had this conversation privately, but it's months later and Windows and ARM devices are readily available. They're great. And I think I made this point last week, but if you're a developer, which was the target for this thing, I mean, let's not get too overblown with this. Like, the target for this was a very small audience. I think you'd be better off getting a laptop anyway, because part of the testing should involve all the mobility and efficiency stuff. So
you'd also have got it sooner.
So Arrow was the distributor.
Okay.
And one of the things that a couple of people have said, both in the Twitch chat and our Discord, is they lost the license. What does that mean?
Who lost the license?
Who lost the license?
What does that mean? What
license are they talking about?
Yeah.
Let me just go over behind you guys to the other side. I don't know what that means. Who lost the license? Qualcomm. What? Who? What?
So does Qualcomm?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is a different. I'm sorry. He's talking about a different topic. This is the ARM thing. We'll get to that in the future. We'll get to it. That's a different topic.
Okay.
This is the ARM licensing.
ARM licensing. Okay.
Legal issue. Yeah.
But do you think that has anything to do with this?
I think people just hear Qualcomm and ARM and they get confused.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So we don't know why they pulled this out of the.
No, we'll
they
never
said
know
it wasn't up to our
exactly, right?
standards, right? But I don't.
Yeah.
But it seems. I'm looking forward to you getting home, Richard.
Yeah.
And playing with it. And Paul, I'm going to send you mine because you deserve it. I don't need this.
I deserve it. You deserve this. Hunker
And you
crap.
could figure out what's wrong with it.
You know, this
it
thing's
seems
terrible.
okay. I've been
but I
running
feel like
it.
you would like it.
The other reason is, and you said you were thinking of putting Linux on it, Richard. There are of course Snapdragon Elite versions.
Qualcomm has
Ubuntu.
very explicitly worked to make that happen. Yeah.
But and in fact, Gerling said he was going to send information about his unit to Ubuntu to help them make a better version. But if there's only 200 in the whole wide world, I doubt there's a lot of incentive to make this specific machine work well on Linux.
Right. There's no need for that. They need to make Linux work. They need Linux to work well on the IdeaPad 7X or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what unique hardware there is in here and stuff, but all of that would need Linux drivers.
I'm sure it's just like a NUC. It's a laptop motherboard, essentially, probably some, generic.
You think it's pretty generic?
Yeah, I do.
Well,
I mean, by the way,
Purely tore it all the way down. It's nothing fancy in there.
Okay.
But one of the most notable things about the first, 2, 3, 4, whatever Copilot Plus PCs I reviewed was how identical they were.
Yeah.
I don't mean I opened the box and looked at the board, but they were just the same. They were exactly the same.
Feature
Yeah,
set with
it's like a laptop in a box, right?
Yeah.
By the way, it does say on the back, evaluation only, not FCC approved for resale.
Right.
So, Paul, I was going to ask you for $1.
I will donate
do it.
$1
That
to
would be
the
a
charity
federal
of your
offense.
choice, to the Leo Laporte Fund, perhaps.
Can't sell it to you. I saved the box because I thought, maybe, in 100 years, this would be worth something. I don't know.
If it is, I'll give it back to you. I don't think
Things are
that's
worth
gonna
something because they're scarce, and this is scarce.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
makes it kind of
well,
cool.
so was interest in Windows and ARM. So, what's
well,
that?
it's one of the things when we were chatting on this. Is like, does this actually hurt Windows on ARM?
Right.
They missed this window. Like, if this thing had showed up in June, actually encouraged devs to do more conversions to ARM, would that make a difference?
I don't think so.
Because part of this was, this whole AI head fake is about, hey, let's get, well, you get the fancy version of Copilot if you buy a Windows on ARM device.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. I'm all over the map on this. Richard, I just listened to your Runner's Radio, .NET Rocks episode with Chris Sells, for example.
Right.
And it was striking. I love him, and his career is
brilliant.
fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. It blows my mind that, Windows was it, mobile was it, web sort of. And what's the next wave? What's the next wave? For a little while, it was the digital assistant stuff. And then it was maybe VR, MR, something in there. And then it's like, maybe it's AI, maybe that's the thing. But the problem with these other platforms is that they still require the existing platforms to do anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know that it's like a wave. I don't know. It's an interesting problem, but I don't know. I don't think Copilot Plus PC on Snapdragon specifically is going to set the world on fire.
No.
But we are all going to have NPUs now. So, we don't think too much about like those, what they call it, like the multimedia extensions that Intel put in their chips in the 1990s. Like, for a little while, there was a dividing line between the haves and the have-nots, but, that mattered or didn't, I know. But today, that's NPUs, and just like TPM, like it will just be there,
Yeah. No, it'll just be. Once upon a time, having a GPU was a big deal.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and the world of multi-processor machines continues to expand.
Yeah, there you go.
I debate how well it's being used. I often am pulling up the monitor just to see, does the MPU in this thing ever do anything for me, really?
The answer to that question is no. No, it really is. I mean, today it's basically no, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, really, we don't know what went wrong.
Not really.
No, I just think it boils down to this company was terrible. The product they made is whatever. They didn't deliver it on time. Maybe they couldn't ship it in the volume.
And there wasn't a need for it.
maybe there wasn't a
There was a need for this in June before the laptop. This should have arrived before the laptop. It's a mini PC for crying out loud. Integrating a laptop's hard. Stuffing things in a plastic box is pretty easy. So this should have been first. And the fact that the moment it wasn't, stop.
Part of this might be tied to the history of Qualcomm and Windows on ARM and the fact that these guys overpromised and delivered for several years before. What happened?
Before they built a really remarkable chip. By all accounts, a remarkable chip.
Absolutely, and we'll touch on that a little bit later too because it comes up again and again. But I don't think I wrote it. I went back. I had to look some things up today. I went back and read something I wrote last October, where Qualcomm once again made a bunch of promises, and I just said, "Look, I want to believe, I do, but they failed us every time." Yeah. And it is astonishing how well they are, how good these are.
Yeah. But I also think
came out of nowhere.
Qualcomm's not used to building the center point of a PC. They're used to building chipsets for phones. This is a different business with different partners, and I think they struggled with those differences. And this mini PC is worse still because they really went off.
I'm sure it was about money, but really they should have gone to Dell, Lenovo, HP's one of those companies and said, please make one of these.
Could they have done it for the price?
Who knows?
Hey, it's me, Leo Laporte. I hope you've enjoyed this little snippet from Windows Weekly. If you want to see more and want to catch the whole show, you can subscribe in your favorite podcast client or visit our website, twit.tv/WW. And of course, there's links right below me.